Hello everyone, it's been about a year since I've done an update on the game engine. It's because for a lot of the year there hasn't been much to update. I actually have been pretty busy with other things. I moved twice. We've had the holidays, which were the first time I could see my family since before COVID, so didn't get a lot of coding done. I switched text editors, so I was writing some custom plugins for my new text editor, which is Sublime Text. So yeah, I haven't been doing nothing, but haven't been giving the game all the love it deserves. But the past couple months, I have gotten back in the swing of things, and it's back to business. So before I kind of took my break, one thing which I haven't shown yet is somebody reached out on Twitter and made some awesome 3D models that make the game a lot cooler to look at, a lot more visually pleasing. So I have these little worker units, some buildings, some resources. Very, very cool. And these actually were OBJ file format, which funnily enough, my first swing at 3D models, I was using a different file format, a more complicated one. So I actually did just hack up a OBJ importer real quick, but I had one lying around from my previous engine, so that wasn't too hard. So I got these in the game. Let's actually start gathering some resources and training some things. Why not? And you'll see we actually have this little progress bar when units are being trained. That's new. I don't know if the health bars are new, but it's the same thing under the hood. And we'll also have a construction bar, which is similar to the health bar, but if you notice, the construction does not start at 0 health. I think it starts at about 25%, so they're not 100% in sync. The resource loop, I think you're seeing it now. I think I've shown it before, but now we actually also have resource costs, so you can notice the resources going down when I'm training units. And like the town hall, I think, costs 500, so I'm trying to build one and I can't. No error message quite yet. There we go, just got 500. Yeah, no error message quite yet, but that's on the to-do list. We got a couple soldiers as well. Okay, what else is new? I rewrote my build script from Windows Batch scripts to Python scripts. Can't really demo that, but that was long overdue and is a big quality of life improvement for me. I am in the process of totally rewriting the UI. So this is all an immediate mode UI system that I've been writing. And it works kind of well, but it was pretty ad hoc and I really wasn't happy with the direction that it was growing. So I decided to kind of take what worked and start writing a new one and throw out the stuff that wasn't working. And I will show you. If I do toggle test UI, you'll notice this dev console, which is brand new, is actually part of the new UI system. And these little windows are part of it as well. You'll notice this guy's, I actually specified like an invalid thing just to see how it behaves. And it snaps in if you move it around, so that's pretty good behavior. But yeah, these guys are fully, you can make them movable, resizable, you can pass flags to determine what you want. You also tell it what it is anchored to, so you can see this white rectangle showing up. It means the bottom left corner is anchored to this bottom left corner, and the black rectangle is what the top right is anchored to. So often it's anchored to its own previous position, which means you just provide a width and a height. But you can also anchor it to other things. So like this, you see the bottom is anchored to the bottom left and the top is anchored to the top right. So if we resize it, it'll actually grow. And the yellow one has like some weird inverted anchors, which, I mean, you can specify that if you want. This was kind of just, I was abusing it and seeing what went wrong. But yeah, so it's very simple kind of UI anchoring, but it's very simple and very predictable and easy to do in a one pass of the UI tree in an immediate mode fashion. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then the big feature that I spent couple iterations working on, it was getting depth sorting working. So now we can make little windows and put them in click to top mode. You'll notice the children widgets are also in click to top mode, so they can all jump on top of each other. And one thing that's cool is that the dev console, which I mentioned is also part of this UI system, does not it doesn't go on top of the dev console when I click it. And that's because the dev console it's parented to a different part of the UI tree, which does not have that same flag set. So you can, it's very nice. You can kind of partition things up and put properties down a whole subtree. And so it's similar to the old one I have. It doesn't, the old UI system I had, but it's much nicer under the hood. It doesn't look as good yet. I still need to support like various button things and layouts and stuff, but it is definitely an improvement, and I'm working on porting the rest of the UI to this. One other thing for the dev console was you'll notice I have this text support, so I can type like hello, backspace, I can move the cursor around, whatever. I can actually, I'm getting the input from Windows in UTF-16, which is the Windows native strings for whatever reason, and I'm converting them to UTF-8 under the hood, so I wrote a custom converter for that, so that way I will be able to handle Unicode using UTF-8. I don't render it yet, but I did try inputting emojis with the window emoji keyboard, and I did check in the debugger I had the correct UTF-8 bytes, so getting those rendered will be on the to-do list, but that's pretty exciting. And I guess the last thing I'll show is I put the editor, which I think I've shown this a couple times before, but I exposed it. Let's turn this off. I exposed it behind this command, and I'll just show you guys the editor again in case you haven't seen it, so you can see I can actually click into the game and move around, and you'll see the camera lines in the editor moving around. And this is one thing that really excites me about the depth sorting, is that I'll be able to actually put this game into a window, a resizable window, and I can have other windows that can get docked, put in front of it, behind it, minimized, all that good stuff. So yeah, this is all just kind of stuff I've shown before, and some of the UI is a little scaled wonky, but it is what it is. These other little check boxes just turn on some debug stuff, so like a UI picker. This is the old UI system, and I think I will probably make a similar one for the new UI system. These unit clumps, which I've shown before, are a thing that is used by the movement system to detect when you have a whole group of units moving to the same target, and when the entire clump kind of reaches the center, that's when everyone says that they're there, and it prevents units from just jostling infinitely for the same target. You can see that works pretty well. We have collision tests, which works well when I show the world chunks. So the world chunks is the spatial partition in memory, and you can so units in the same chunk are all in like the adjacent in memory, and as a unit moves around, it'll move around in memory, but all the references get updated because this happens at a known time in the frame. And this is nice, it lets us query only the units that are nearby us for collision detection. So if we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units, this will cut down a lot of those queries. And the last thing in the editor worth showing is this cull editor cam option, which lets us move the game camera around and cull things out of the editor camera as they get culled from the game camera. It just lets me kind of sanity test to make sure that culling is working. I think that's everything new. I think I've gone over it all. Maybe one more thing worth showing is you can now, there's a second player. You can press 2 on the numpad to switch players. You can see up here it switches from player 1 to player 2, and my resource counts change. Well, I have these debug options on, so people are turning purple. But yeah, player 2 can now spend their resources. I switch back to player 1. They have their own resources. You'll also notice as I switch, the mini-map colors are changing. I'm not doing anything with the unit colors yet, but that's something else we can do. So yeah, that's kind of an overview. I think in the future I will probably do more videos like this instead of the 60-second monthly videos. That was kind of a experiment I did to kind of motivate myself to have something to show every month. But I think I'd rather just show things off as progress is made and do a little longer form videos like this. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.